look how freaking cool this is! As a game collector and a retro game store owner, I absolutely love promotional items like this 6-foot-tall original Mortal Kombat Goro standee from 1993. So when I walked up to the table and I saw this thing sitting there, it was flipped over. I could tell that it was a standee, but I didn't really know what it was until I looked at it, and I could not believe it because this standee is incredibly rare. Overall, it's in really, really nice condition, but it's not perfect. The main issue was that the legs were not attached anymore. Luckily, it was just a little bit of hot glue to fix it, and I was able to do that pretty easily. He does have a hole in each ear as well. I think somebody probably put some earrings on him at some point, but overall, for being this old, it is in really good condition.
This is the kind of violence that critics are pretty worried about. Cold-blooded murder is making Mortal Kombat the most popular video game in history. Kids relish their victory and their bloody choice. Should they pull out their opponent's heart? Or simply rip his head off just to see his spinal cord dangle in a pool of blood? How do you feel about cutting his head off?
The original Mortal Kombat was an arcade game released in 1992, and Mortal Kombat 2 was released in 1993. There were many ports for home consoles, primarily the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis, but it was also released on the original Game Boy, Sega CD, Game Gear, MS-DOS, Amiga. There was also a plug-and-play version, and then later they were re-released as part of other games or collections on the original Xbox, PS2, PS3, the 360, PSP, Windows, and there's even a Tiger Electronics version of the game. As a game collector, I love finding pieces like this because not only is it just incredibly rare to find a piece of cardboard from 1993 that's this large, that is still in this good a condition, but also promotional items like this, standees, kiosks, signs, these are things that you could not walk into a store and just purchase back in the day. They were used to promote the games, and I think the companies that were producing these never thought that people would be keeping these for 20 or 30 years. So these are the kind of items that I really enjoy finding for my collection because anyone can go on eBay and buy pretty much any video game they want as long as they have the money to do so. But these items, even if you have the money and you're willing to spend it, you might still not be able to find them. So that's why I love collecting stuff like this, and I think it's just so cool. I really wish that I was a bigger Mortal Kombat fan because for those that are and they like to collect stuff from the franchise, this is one of those holy grail type pieces. I am, however, a very big Nintendo fan, and especially Super Nintendo, which is where the original Mortal Kombat came out, as well as Arcade and Genesis. But I think as part of my Super Nintendo collection, I'm giving it a very, very good home. My game store is really full right now, and I do not have room for this there, but we are planning on moving to a bigger location at some point, and once we do, I plan to have this on display at the store so that I'm not hoarding it for myself here in my game room where it's just me and my friends who can see it. I want to share it with anyone who comes into the store, and hopefully people who are really big Mortal Kombat fans and they love to see stuff like this because this is not something you can see every day. Based on all of the research that I've been able to do in terms of value or what this thing is worth, there really isn't much out there. It's incredibly rare. It's not one of a kind or anything like that. There are other ones that have been sold and that are out there in people's collections. But there is a Facebook group dedicated to collecting this type of stuff, and the best info that I could find was that there was one available in either 2020 or 2021, and the consensus seemed to be that it was worth around $1,200. For people that don't collect this type of stuff, that might sound absolutely insane, and I do agree to a certain extent, but an item like this is incredibly rare, really, really hard to find, and if you do find them, they're usually not going to be in great condition, and the people that have them in their collections don't want to sell them. So like I said before, even if you have the money to spend, you might not be able to find one of these. So in my opinion, as a collector who deals with this type of stuff pretty often, and from all the research that I've been able to do, I think that it's probably worth somewhere between $1,000 to $2,000. And like I said, that is crazy. I would never personally pay that, and I got really, really lucky, and I got a great deal on this at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. Had to do a little bit of work, but I think that it was definitely worth it, and I have a really awesome piece now for my collection. So let me know what you guys think. And if you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.